Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Okay, reading from Canto 1, Chapter 14, Text 3. Thank you. Canto 1, Chapter 14, Text 3. Okay, you all have your mobile app to repeat. Kalasya cha gatim raudram viprasyata ritu dharmina papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anrata atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram kalasya cha gatim raudram viprasyata ritu dharmina viprasyata ritu dharmina papyasim nirnam vartam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam krodha lobha anartha atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram viprasyata ritu dharminam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram viprasyata ritu dharminam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram viprasyata ritu dharminam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram viparyasta ritu dharminam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam kalasya cha gatim raudram viparyasta ritu dharminam papyasim nirnam vartam krodha lobha anartha atmanam. Mataji. Kalasya cha gatim raudram viparyasta ritudharminam apiyasimnam vartam krodalobhanatmanam kalasya cha tatim rodram viparyasta ritudharminam apiyasimnam vartam krodalobhanatmanam kalasya cha tatim rodram viparyasta ritudharminam apiyasimnam vartam krodalobhanatmanam kalasya cha tatim rodram viparyasta ritudharminam apiyasimnam vartam krodalobhanatmanam kalasya of eternal time, cha also, gatim direction, raudram fearful, viprasyata reversed, ritu seasonal, dharmina regularities, papyasim sinful, nirnam of the human being, vartam means of livelihood, krodha anger, lobha greed, anrita falsehood, atmanam of the people. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. He saw that the direction of the eternal time had changed, and this was very fearful. There were disruptions of the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry, and deceitful, and he saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. I'll repeat again. He saw that the direction of the eternal time had changed, and this was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. The people in general had become very greedy, angry, and deceitful, and he saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. Purport. When civilization is disconnected from the loving relationship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, symptoms like changes of seasonal regulations, changes like of seasonal regulation, foul means of livelihood, greed, anger, and fraudulence become rampant. The change of seasonal regulations refers to one season's atmosphere becoming manifest in another season. For example, the rainy seasons being transformed to autumn, or the fructification of fruits and flowers from one season in another season. A godless man is invariably greedy, angry, and fraudulent. Such a man can earn his livelihood by any means, black or white. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, all the above symptoms were conspicuous by their absence. But Maharaj Yudhishthira was astonished to experience even a slight change in the godly atmosphere of his kingdom, and at once he suspected the disappearance of the Lord. Foul means of livelihood implies deviation from one's occupation duty. There are prescribed duties for everyone, such as the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. But anyone who deviates from his prescribed duty and declares another its duty to be his own is following a foul and improper duty. A man becoming too greedy to wealth and power when he has no higher objective in life, and when he thinks that this earthly life is of few years is all in all. Ignorance is cause of all these anomalies in human society, and to remove this ignorance, especially in this age of degradation, the powerful sun is there to distribute light in the shape of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, I think many of you knew, maybe not knowing the Prabhu. So, Prabhu name is Bandhumadhava Prabhu, and very senior devotee. And that time I came to Bangalore. So, by that time they had a big circles and so many devotees. The way morning one day Mangalate went and Prabhu was singing. I was not knowing who is singing also. It was very sweet and soothing to hear Mangalatis. I was trying to penetrate to friend place so that I can see him. So along with me there was Govardhan Prabhu, our Govardhan Prabhu was there. So I asked him who was singing morning. Then he said my counselor was singing. So that's the way first time I came to know Bandhumadhava Prabhu. And he has a lot of zeal to preach. And once I visited the place where Prabhu was preaching, Morgeshwalya, they take care of devotees in all the respects. Prasadam, bringing and leaving and taking. And they have a place where they can stay Bhakti Vriksha members for 2 days. So Girivara Govardhan Prabhu says, because of Morgeshwalya Bhakti Vriksha, I sustained myself. Otherwise I would have left my Bhakti long back. So now also we are tasting prasadam, whatever cooked by Girivara Govardhan Prabhu. That is fully credit goes to Bandhumadhava Prabhu. So he is the one who trained him nicely, and now without giving a more pressure and not leaving him away. So very balancedly, you brought him to the initiation, and recently Prabhu took initiation also. So this is the way, and there are many devotees, Viranjana Prabhu, Virupaksha Prabhu, there are many devotees. I used to see like a experience, twice I went to Morgeshwalya, even Ramaprama Prabhu also saying that. So there were many devotees, they feel that is their house. They'll cook there, they'll have prasadam, they'll hear katha, they'll dance there, they'll go and distribute prasadam and do kirtan and bring new people. So like that, it's a really, without a temple, how we can make a house as a temple. So this is what Prabhu really practiced, and many devotees. Now whatever the Whitefield Center, now whatever Arishetra Prabhu is leading, so Prabhu was leading before, it was a circle, Nityananda circle, and Gauranga circle led by Srivas Prabhu, and Nityananda circle led by our Bandhumadhava Prabhu, like that Shiva circle, our Venulari Prabhu. So like this, there was a 5 circles in the temple. The major, like maybe they used to distribute maybe 2012 and 11, 10, 1,500 books. It was a very big score by the time. So it was a good competition. Always Nityananda circle used to be friend and come. There was very nice competition to see. All glories to Prabhu's service and dedicated service. And one more thing, whatever I have heard, Prabhu want to go to Coimbatore. But he wrote a message to Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, I want to shift to Coimbatore. But Maharaj said, he didn't give any reply. Whatever I heard, I don't know what is the reality. Since Maharaj didn't give a green signal to go to Bandhumadhava, he didn't go and he stayed here only and he is preaching here. So that is the glories of Prabhu. So we can see the devotee, the seriousness, how he follows his spiritual master, how dedicatedly he follows. That is Prabhu's greatness, and he is very good speaker, very nicely speaks, very nicely delegates, deliver the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are so fortunate to have him here, And we also request Prabhu, whenever he gets a free time, we are very just a budding center, Kerala. The beggar is a lotus feet. Please come and grace us, Prabhuji, and give your association. So we'll chant once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhu want to go by 10:30. He has a meeting, and Vardha Krishna Prabhu giving 11 o'clock class, Prabhu, for all. I don't know if your meeting will fit into it or not. So we can see. Please give more time.
Class what? 2?
11 o'clock for all Bangalore devotees. Guru Tattva.
Oh, okay.
So here also we are live. We are going.
Okay.
So I don't think so. Your meeting will happen. So please give us more time.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Krishna has his own plan. Okay, right. So we're reading from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 14th chapter, talking about the disappearance of Lord Krishna. And here there was a conversation between Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers. Okay. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he had been seeing symptoms of the disappearance of the Supreme Lord from this planet, and those symptoms are what we actually read in today's verse, where Yudhishthira Maharaj could actually see that the direction of eternal time has changed. This was very fearful. There were disruptions in the seasonal regularities. People in general had become very greedy, angry and deceitful, and he saw that they were adopting foul means of livelihood. So these were some of the symptoms that Yudhishthira Maharaj actually saw. He didn't hear the news of Krishna's departure, but he could, from the symptom, he could feel that something is going wrong, right? Abhasa, something is going wrong. So Yudhishthira Maharaj could sense, primarily because he was a very dharmic person, he was a Krishna conscious devotee of the Lord, and as soon as a minor change happens in things, he could actually sense it. Not like we all, or not like today's people, where so many bad things are happening in this world and we are very insensitive to it, right? So let it happen, as long as it doesn't disturb my life, as long as it doesn't disturb my uta, my nidde, so I am fine, right? I am fine, no problem at all, right? But Yudhishthira Maharaj could not live like that. Even a small disruption in things in his kingdom, he couldn't actually he could actually feel it, and he could not bear the discrepancies there. So in the purport, Prabhupada actually says that of all the discrepancies, the main discrepancy in today's world is that people are disconnected from Krishna. That's the first sentence Prabhupada actually makes here. He says, when civilization is disconnected from loving relationship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the first mark that Prabhupada actually makes. That disconnection from Krishna is the root cause of all problems. The whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is there because there is disconnection of Krishna. Even the sages of Naimisharanya, they asked the questions. The first chapter of Bhagavatam, we could see that they put forth 6 questions. And out of that, the last question is, now that Krishna has gone, where should we take shelter upon? Where should we be? How can we be connected with Krishna still? Krishna is physically not present, but how can still we be connected with Krishna? Because being connected with Krishna is the most essential thing. The moment we disconnect from Krishna, all problems in material world actually it sits on our head as if it's a big thing. Right? Today we all have several problems in life. And we take all those problems as something very big, right? We even go to an extent saying that today this, so many things are there. How can I actually chant Hare Krishna? So we keep the chanting bag down, we keep Prabhupada's books down, we don't read, we don't have time for reading Prabhupada books, we don't have time for hearing Srila Prabhupada, all because we think saying that so many things are there for me to do. Yes or no? So in a Grahasta's life especially, so many things takes priority, so many things takes importance over to Krishna consciousness, over to chanting, over to reading, over to hearing. Things takes priority. But here Prabhupada actually says those things are considered to be priority because we are still disconnected from Krishna. That's why they become priority and Krishna consciousness becomes secondary. That's the main problem. The problem is we are actually going away from Krishna. The more we get closer to Krishna, problems of material world becomes very silly. It really becomes silly. Primarily because the problems of material world will come and it will go. If you solve it or don't solve it, it will come and it will go for sure. It will never stay. But when it comes, we think that, oh, chuchu, these all things have come and we put it on our head and Jai Shri Gandharvika Giridhari Shriman Mahaprabhu ki. So we take it literally on our head and we plunge to actually solve the problem. And more we put our hands in the problem actually becomes complicated. You don't disturb the problem, it will actually come, it will go. I have been noticing Bangalore traffic, which has been the biggest problem for all. Right? Don't say this outside. But as soon as a police cop comes in a junction, the traffic jam increases. That's what I have seen. If no police cop stands in the traffic in the junction, all the vehicles will somehow squeeze and pass through. No traffic jam will happen. But as soon as a cop comes there, gone. You'll have to wait there for 15 minutes for sure. This is what really happens in everybody's world. You poke your nose inside into material problems, then things become so complicated that you cannot chant your japa. You cannot practice Krishna consciousness. The moment you actually become free, you let the problem come, let it actually pass. You keep yourself cool. No problem is there then. Honestly, no problem will be there. You simply chant Hare Krishna, simply read Srila Prabhupada books, simply hear Prabhupada's lectures. Let the problem come. You handle it a little bit. Don't put your mind on that. Handle it a little bit. That's all. I'm not saying don't handle it at all. Handle it a little bit. Then it will come and it will go. For sure. All problems in material life is because we are not getting connected to Krishna strongly. That's what Prabhupada actually was saying. While coming here, I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture and Prabhupada was repeating the same thing. The main problem is we are disconnected from Krishna. The more we get connected to Krishna, the more our problems of material life will not sit on our head. I'm not saying problems will go. That's not a false promise. Neither Prabhupada gave nor Srimad Bhagavatam gives. No. In fact, it is Bhagavatam says that if you take to Krishna consciousness, you will get more problems only. Right? You will get more problems when you take Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna will really test us whether you are really loving me or not. He will send us problem. That's when you actually become, your Krishna consciousness will be tested when problem comes in front of you. Not when things are going very smooth. When things are going very smooth, you say, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Channagidra, Hare Krishna Mataji, everything, you have a big smile in your face and then mingle with devotees and everybody thinks, oh, such a nice devotee. But when problems are put in front of him, when they are cornered and squeezed, that's when their real nature comes. Prabhu, yen marta idra nivu? Right? That's when real Swarupa actually comes out. Our real original nature comes out when we are squeezed. That's when what is inside comes outside. Until then, all it's covered up, Kali Yuga packing. Just like they give a gift, right? You go to a birthday party, marriage invitation, they bring a big gift and with a nice, colorful, glossy wrapper. Accept it or not, we all actually are like that wrapper. We make up ourselves and then we come and present in front of others. And everybody thinks saying that he is super devotee. But the real nature of devotee comes out when you open the pack. When you open the pack and then see in their heart, that's when the real nature actually comes out. And mind it, the person who sits inside there, he sees only the inside content. He doesn't see the packing. He is least bothered about packing. That's why it is called as Krishna consciousness. Bhava Grahi Janardana. Krishna sees the intentions, not the object. The object may be very nice, but what is the love and intention we have inside? If our love and intention is only for our own enjoyment, swartha, then Krishna doesn't accept it. He has so many other places to go and enjoy. Whoever offers it with love, that's where Krishna goes. Krishna did not go to Yudhishthira's palace. He made the Duryodhana's palace. He made wonderful arrangements there for Krishna. But what for? To kill Krishna, to capture him, imprison him. That's what we all trying to do. What does Jiva do? Krishna says in 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ya etam dharayate jagat. Krishna says, Jiva's original nature is, not original nature, in this material world, their nature is that they actually wanted to plunder over all the resources and exploit it, enjoy it. We are all actually are looking for how can I actually get enjoyment from this. Even in Krishna consciousness, we are still looking for that only. Even within this community, within this society, within this organization, still we are actually looking for where can I find enjoyment here? I like people who actually speak nice about me. Right? If somebody says, Prabhu, you did wonderful kirtan, wonderful class you gave, you are amazing, Prabhu, what service you are doing, how are you able to do all these things? Immediately we melt down in front of them, they are my friends. And if somebody speaks against what you say, immediately we keep a distance from them. And we keep talk about them, oh, such and such devotee is not so nice. He actually does this. We go and speak 100 things ill about that devotee. That's our original nature. The sooner we accept it, we will get to know where we actually stand, what our disease is. At least when the disease is known, then we can actually work for the medicine, the treatment for it. If the disease itself is unknown, then it's quite difficult. So the most important thing that we have to understand is what disease that we have, not what disease other devotee has. We are not here to correct others. Krishna consciousness is all about correcting ourselves. Remain connected with Krishna always. Seeing how can I become a good devotee of Krishna. Right? Prabhu spoke so much about me. Like if I take all those things in my heart and if I actually float in the air, it is not good for my Krishna consciousness. Honestly speaking, Prabhu cooked up a lot in whatever he said. Right? I don't deserve what he said actually. So but of course it is the nature that other devotee will have to speak good about other devotee. So but if we go and float in that, if we think great about that, then it's a big problem in our Krishna consciousness. It's a big problem. So that's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also says that don't think great about devotees who speak nice about you. You should actually go and thank people who speak ill about you. Those who speak ill about you, you should actually go and thank them. Thank you, Prabhu, you showed me the right path. Because you actually showed me this, I could actually take corrective measures and correct myself. So mean it or not, we are all here to actually correct ourselves. That's the most important thing we need to do. We are not here to correct others. We are here to correct ourselves. The first and foremost thing that we need to do is we need to correct ourselves. We need to change ourselves. Krishna consciousness is all about accepting change. If you don't want to accept change, this is not the place where you need to be. Outside is the place. Because outside is the place where they don't want change and they want to be in the same old repeated Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. That's the same old thing they actually wanted to. Knowing that this is actually taking me to death, taking me to another material body, still everybody is actually engaged in doing the same old thing. They don't want to change. If we come here and don't want to accept change, then what is the difference between them and us? No big difference. Just that we have put nice tilaka, kantimala, dress and we are still a materialistic person inside the society. There's no difference, honestly to say. If we want to accept change, then we should actually come inside here. The first change that we need to accept is we want to hear about Krishna. That's the first change we need to accept. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not me. He is the enjoyer, not me. Let him enjoy. My duty is to serve. If we come with this mentality and hear Krishna Katha, then slowly Krishna's Katha, Krishna's names will enter our ears and it will do the magic that it needs to do. We should let Krishna Katha do the magic. Right? So many speakers may come and they may deliver so many nice, beautiful lectures. Their lecture is not great. The speaker is not so great, more than the content is actually the great thing. Bhagavatam is great thing. We all speakers come and sit here and speak Srimad Bhagavatam. It doesn't make us great. Bhagavatam actually becomes great. So when we glorify Krishna, when we chant Kirtan, we sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We glorifying Krishna is great there. But what we do, instead of glorifying Krishna as great, we go and speak saying that he is a nice Kirtaniya. That's what we speak. That's what we glorify more about. Right? So the speaker also needs to be glorified. That doesn't mean the speaker should not be glorified. But more glorifying thing is Krishna's holy name. That we forget. The more important thing is the content of Srimad Bhagavatam. That we forget. Because that is Kali Yuga's nature. The nature of Kali Yuga is that the skeleton will be there, the actual content will go away. Just like today's Varnashrama system. There is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Simply for namesake it is there. But the actual content of it is lost, kind of. A Brahmana is not really a Brahmana today. A Kshatriya is not really a Kshatriya today. Even a Vaishya is not really a Vaishya today. Almost everybody is a Shudra or lower than Shudra. That's what Kali Yuga is all about. In Kali Yuga, everybody is Shudra. Janmana jayate Shudra. By birth, everybody is a Shudra. And we cannot expect a great quality in a Shudra class of people. If we have an expectation, it is wrong expectation. It's an improper, unrealistic expectations we have. So if we expect good things from others, that's a wrong expectation from what we have. We shouldn't expect good things from others. On the contrary, we should actually try to do good things to others. That's what our mentality should be. So we need a change in our mentality basically. That's what is really needed. So Janmana Jayate Shudra. By birth everybody is a Shudra. Samskarat Bhave Dvija. By proper samskara, by proper training, by proper teaching, Samskarat Bhave Dvija. Veda Pata Rata Vipra Brahma Jana iti Brahmana. Such a person is a real Brahmana. Our scripture says. So in Kali Yuga things are very external. Everything is very external. We look at only the external things. Just like Bhagavatam also says that Brahmana is known by simply having a thread only. Anybody who has a thread, he is known to be a Brahmana. Not by quality. By quality is zero. Right? No qualities at all. Simply by a thread, people actually have a Brahmana today. People judge the greatness of a person by their external appearance. People who come with a coat, boot, suit, people think they are very educated, cultured people. Yes or no? Right? That's what the culture is. The Kali Yuga means it will be like that. Package industry is given so much of value, not the actual substance. So in our society also, if we don't give importance to the substance, the real substance is the holy name of the Lord. The real substance is Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. That is the real substance. Instead of giving importance to substance, if we start giving importance to appearance, then it actually becomes so much of problem in the society. There will be a lot of chaotic situation in the society if we give importance to external appearances. So more than external appearance, the internal heart should actually be seen, because that's what Krishna really sees. That's what Krishna really sees. Krishna is more focused. The whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken to bring about a change in the heart of Arjuna. Not bring about a change in the appearance of Arjuna. Krishna didn't want a change in the appearance. Arjuna was looking for change in appearance in the first chapter. I wanted to go to forest. I wanted to take sannyas. I want to take a begging profession. That's what Arjuna spoke about. But all Krishna's whole Bhagavad Gita was spoken about to actually bring about an internal change in Arjuna. Nashto moha. All the moha, all my illusion is gone, Arjuna says. Smritir labda. My intelligence is, I have regained my intelligence, memory. Twat prashadan maya achyuta. Oh Achyuta, by your mercy, I actually could regain all these things. Right? So Arjuna was never ungrateful for whatever Krishna actually have given. Being grateful is something very, very important. Right? Being grateful, being thankful. Not that I have become a Bhakti Vriksha leader today, I have become a sector servant today, I have become a circle servant today, I have become a temple president, center head, a big pandit, I can recite Sanskrit verses. It shouldn't be like we forget whatever devotees have done today. Just like Prabhu was actually speaking about Girivara Govardhan Prabhu cooking nice boga for the Lord today. So because of Prabhu, we will actually get nice prasadam, or many other devotees who are helping. Because of them, we are actually getting nice prasadam end of the class. And know that so many Sunday programs we have attended, and so many devotees have actually served the Sunday feast in so many ways to make this program successful. We should never be ungrateful to all these devotees. If we forget the service of these devotees and we boost up thinking that I have done great service and I am great, then in the eyes of Krishna we have actually gone down. Right? Material world means people think I am great. In spiritual life, we advance by going down and down and down and down. We become a servant of a servant of a servant of a servant in spiritual life. Which means we should become more of a servant as we grow, not more of a leader. Right? Becoming more of a leader means that's like material world again. As we grow and as we become more and more leader, we should have more and more of servant attitude here. The more and more we should actually think saying that I am their servant. My duty is to serve them. A leader should actually think that my duty is to serve. A Bhakti Vriksha leader or a servant leader should think that my duty is to serve all these 10 devotees, 15 devotees. That's my service to Krishna. My service to Krishna is by serving these devotees in their Krishna consciousness. I am serving them. That's what his mood should be. Not that I am the Bhakti Vriksha leader, you should hear me. That's not the real mood. The mood is to actually go down and request them, humble in front of them, and then please actually do this. This is good for you. You will gain Krishna's mercy by doing all these things. Please chant the Hare Krishna mantra more and more. Take 4 rounds, take 8 rounds, take 16 rounds. We actually are requesting them, begging them to actually read Prabhupada books every day. Hear Prabhupada's lectures every day. It's a begging profession actually. As we grow in Krishna consciousness, we should become a beggar, in fact. Right? In the outside world, a beggar means he is very ill-treated, low-class person. But as we grow in Krishna consciousness, we should become a bigger and bigger beggar. Actually. We should become a beggar. A beggar means he is actually depending on others. He is expecting from others. Right? If a beggar, if he thinks, saying that if he goes in front of a car and if he knocks that, hey, give me 10 rupees. Who will give him 10 rupees? Nobody will give him. If a beggar actually goes out and thinks saying that without you giving me some money, how can I actually live my life? If he goes and asks like that, then somebody will give 50 paisa to him. Yes or no? That's so, when a beggar actually begs like that, then only people actually give money to such person. So then what kind of mood we should have? In Krishna consciousness, we think saying that I should wear a nice ironed kurta, nice sari, nice this, and then put all decorative tilak. It should be perfect straight line, and then come nice wear kanti mala. The kanti mala should have all kinds of design, and my chanting bead should be like this. It should have all this embroidery work. Of course, all that is there, but that should not be the real focus. If we are focusing on that, then the whole purpose is lost actually. In Krishna consciousness, we are working out for taking another material body. That's what we are doing. If your focus is like that, we will take another material body and hopefully continue Krishna consciousness in some other center of ISKCON. Hopefully. But we are not going back to Godhead. We really want to go back to Godhead, then focus on the substance. Focus on hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra when you are chanting. Honestly saying, how many of you hear at least one Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly with the right attitude, begging for Lord's service? How many of us chant? We don't. Honestly, we don't. Not even one mantra, one mala we actually chant, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, asking for the Lord, please engage me in your devotional service. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, 60 notes over. The Baba. I am done for the day. Right? My quota is over. My sadhana chart, all tick, 100 marks I got. Done. Right? For whom? We are cheating whom actually? We are cheating our own self here. Nobody. We are not cheating anybody. We think we are cheating others, and others are thinking me to be a good devotee. We are not practicing Krishna consciousness for others to recognize as good devotee. We want Krishna to recognize as good devotee. And Krishna knows what is inside our heart. He very well knows what is inside our heart. You cannot cheat him at all. You can never cheat him, for sure. You can cheat all of other these devotees. You can cheat them nicely, and everybody may think you are a great devotee. But what is there inside our heart, that's zero. Or we need to measure wherever we are. We are supposed to actually measure that. We need to measure what kind of devotee I am. That's what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote a whole book, Vaishnava K. What kind of devotee you are? We should actually analyze. Whole of our spiritual life is for that introspection, saying that what bad devotee I am and how hopeful is Krishna consciousness for me. Though I am so bad, Krishna did not neglect me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not neglect me. Even after repeatedly making all these blunders in my life, Krishna conscious life, still there is hope for me here. That's this great movement that Prabhupada has given us. There is no scarcity of hope here. There is always hope for us. Even at the moment of our deathbed, if we are willing to correct ourselves, Krishna is ready to accept us. He is ready to accept us. He is simply waiting for the day, when will you change? When will you change? When will you accept me? He is waiting for that. That's why Prabhupada here says that the only thing that is lacking in this material world is being connected with Krishna. There is nothing else we are lacking here. Simply we have to be connected with Krishna. And that being connected with Krishna, that Krishna connection will do all the magics in us. It will make us to be a great devotee, not because of my endeavor, not because I am great, not because I can recite all the slokas of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam very nicely, not because of all great practices in Krishna consciousness, not because of that. It is simply because of being connected with Krishna, because of the influence of Krishna's holy name, because of the influence of Srimad Bhagavatam, because of the influence of other devotees, change will happen in our life. We have changed so much, but we need to recognize saying that we need to change still a lot. There is still a lot needs to be changed in me. I need to become a much, much better devotee that Krishna actually is looking for. You want to know what kind of devotee Krishna is looking for? Read the 12th chapter. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually says, what kind of devotee is dear to me? You can read that and analyze to yourself. Where am I standing? We are reading Srila Prabhupada's books every day, hearing Srila Prabhupada's books every day, so that we can calibrate ourselves to know that where we are standing. Right? We need to calibrate ourselves. We need to tune ourselves properly. By reading all these things, by taking association of devotees, we get to know saying that where we are lacking. And we need to work around on that. We need to work on that. We need to change. The more we embrace change, the better it is. The more we are stubborn not to accept change, the more difficult Krishna consciousness becomes. Right? Krishna consciousness is difficult not because this Krishna consciousness is difficult. It is because we are actually being a difficult person to deal with. We are being a difficult devotee for Krishna to deal us, kind of. Krishna is actually willing to deal us, but we are actually being very tough to deal. Krishna is struggling us to make us a good devotee, or other devotees are struggling to make us a good devotee, but we are giving tough fight to them. No, I will not change. Why should I change? He should change. The whole world should change, not me. I am such a good person. Yes? Grahastha life is the beautiful life actually. Where husband and wife always think saying that the other party should change, not me. Yes or no? All problems in the Grahastha life is because husband thinks wife should change, wife thinks husband should change. And nobody changes. So fight continues eternally. Right? Eternally fight has been continuing. Because nobody wants to change. And our acharyas very beautifully say that Grahastha life is meant for purification. It's meant for tolerance. But nobody tolerates each other. Husband doesn't tolerate wife, wife doesn't tolerate husband. Right? They both actually expect saying that other person should be like this. They should actually be like what I am saying. And the other person will not accept it, obviously. Right? So eternally the fight actually goes on. But the moment we actually think saying that I only need to change, not the other person, then the whole picture actually changes. But we never think like that. So in Krishna consciousness also the same thing. When so many people come together, there is always a friction. And in that friction, we always think saying that that person needs to change, not me, again. And the whole material world is actually like that only. Outside, if you see, like two cars, like I know this Ayyappa Nagara. Ayyappa Nagara, these are very narrow roads. Two car comes here, then it creates traffic jam. And the other, one person in the car will also say, why did he actually come like this? The other person will say, why did he come like this? And both of them don't change their lane. And the huge traffic jam piles up there. All problems, everybody get into problem like that. The material world means it is like that. They don't want to accept change. One person doesn't want to go behind and let other person pass. That's the problem here. The problem is we don't want to change, but we expect other person to change. Right? So Krishna consciousness we are practicing here for changing ourselves, not for changing others. That's the first thing we need to learn. We are changing for the pleasure of Krishna. We are changing for the pleasure of the acharyas, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. I am willing to accept change. I want to change. I have come here to change. And every Sunday when we come, every Saturday we come to Bhakti Vriksha, every Sunday we come in the Sunday feast, we should come with an intention saying that today there should be at least one minor change in me. One small change. Let me actually become more of a servant. Let me actually take up some more service. I have been doing only this service in my life. I have never done this service. Please give me an opportunity for doing this service. That should be our mood. When we come here, we should be actually coming for doing service, for embracing change, for becoming more a servant. If we are coming here for that mood, then it is actually a Vaikuntha mood here. But if we are coming here to take service, Prabhu, Mataji, please do that. Why this is not done? Why this chair is like this? So it is nonsense. These devotees, 10 times I told them, they don't understand. If we come in this mentality, things won't change at all. It will never change. When I say never change, this I'm talking about this. I'm not talking about this. The main change has to happen here, not here. Here, if doesn't happen or not, we should take to a lower mood to go and make that change. We should speak to the authorities, Prabhu, this things doesn't seem to be okay. If you permit me, can I actually do this service and help in this way? You can actually go and be more of a servant here. Right? We scold our servant maid because she is not doing all these things. How many of you scold your servant maid? Nobody will raise their hand. Right? We scold our servant maid saying that, okay, she is not good, she is not doing this service at all nicely, she is not cleaning this properly at all. Right? If we bring in the same mood here, then we will never progress here for sure. Right? So Prabhupada actually talks about bringing the first mood is being connected with Krishna. Then he speaks about all kinds of symptoms that Yudhishthira Maharaj actually saw. Foul means of livelihood, he says. Not taking the real profession or livelihood ways of living a life which is meant for us to do. We think we are actually qualified to do that. Right? I am qualified to do that, I want to do that service. Right? In olden days, Brahmanas are considered to be a high class people. And everybody actually, at least in today's world, everybody want to actually become a class of life which Brahmanas are leading today. Where everybody will get respected as an intelligent person. You are a very intelligent person. You are actually a great Pandit. You are actually qualified to do all these things. Everybody wants to become like that today. First, we need to see whether we have the qualification to do that. That's what we need to see. Because a Brahmana is known by qualification. Guna and karma. Guna is actually more important. And the nature of work that a Brahmana does, it suits his nature actually. The work and the nature of the person actually go well there. That's how Brahmana actually does. A Brahmana means first thing he should never actually go out and work. Prabhupada says. If somebody goes and works for others, he is not a Brahmana. Somebody who is working for money, he is not a Brahmana. Somebody who is working under somebody, he is not a Brahmana. Neither a Brahmana nor a Kshatriya nor a Vaishya works under somebody. They all work under God, under Krishna. Only a Shudra works under somebody. So if we are working under somebody, that means we are not God. So that's why in material world, not that class, Shudra. So in material world, that's why nobody wants to work under somebody, they want to become boss. They all want to become boss in the material world. Because nobody wants to work under somebody. Everybody wants to become a Brahmana class in this material world. But whether do they have the qualification for it? That's the first question. Qualification also Krishna gave in the Bhagavad Gita. So if we read through all those qualifications that Krishna has given, we need to see whether we have the qualification for that or not. Sama, Dama, Titikshava. There are qualifications that are given. So if we notice whether we are qualified for that or not, and we should act accordingly. Knowing our qualification, we should act accordingly, basically. So, examination of the self is actually more important here. We should examine our own self, what kind of devotee we are. We should never give a projection which creates falsity, foul means of livelihood that Prabhupada talks about, or Yudhishthira Maharaj talks about here. We should never portray ourselves what we are actually not. We better portray ourselves what we actually are. Show ourselves as a rascal because we are actually rascals. That's what Prabhupada calls us as. We are actually rascals. We are actually mad people. Prabhupada says that in material world, people are more or less crazy. Everybody is more or less crazy, but all are crazy. That's what Prabhupada says. More or less mad. We all are more or less mad. That's all. Somebody is more mad, somebody is less mad. And person who is less mad thinks that, oh, he is mad person. Right? We are also mad. We don't see that. That's the reality. Our eyes always sees others. It never sees us. We always point finger at others, not at us. That's why when you are doing japa, they asked us to remove this finger. This finger is not good. Remove it. You put it outside the japamala. Right? Because at least during japa, you remove this finger and then do it pointing to yours, not pointing at others. That's why it is called as index finger. It always points out others. It never actually points out us. But when you are pointing out others, all the other finger actually points at us. The majority points at us. Minority only points at others. But we forget that, in fact. Right? Duplicity, Krishna never likes it. Being duplicitous, being cunning, being falsehood, or not getting the right word, diplomatic way of dealing things. Krishna never liked it. Diplomatic way of dealing things means like you are doing so that others will actually recognize me as a nice person. Right? Others will think saying that I am a good devotee. We are not actually here for that. We should be honest to ourselves. Portray what we are actually. Better say that I am a rascal. I am not a devotee at all. That should actually come from heart, not for getting impression of others, impress others. Right? How many of you always think about Krishna? How many of you are Krishna conscious? If you are Krishna conscious, you can claim yourself to be a devotee. If you are not Krishna conscious, then in the association of devotee, present yourself as a rascal. That's a better way. Go down. Present yourself as a rascal. Say that I am not qualified for this. But if you feel so, please give me this service so that I can become more purified. I am taking this service for my own purification. So that by doing this service, I get an opportunity to associate with devotees. I get an opportunity to remember Krishna, and then I can become more purified. If we do the service like that, then there will be a lot of change coming from inside. We will become more of a servant in this movement than more of a boss. So the more we grow in Krishna consciousness, I'm sorry, I'm pointing it wrong. The more we grow in Krishna consciousness, the more we should actually get the attitude of a servant. More than a devotee, we should actually become a servant and try to serve others. In this first chapter only, Yudhishthira Maharaj says to Narada Muni, I don't know whether Narada Muni says to Yudhishthira Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj says to Narada Muni, I don't remember. But he says that this body is actually meant for serving others. That's what this body is actually given for by Krishna. So with this body, we should actually try to serve other Vaishnavas. And we should serve other Vaishnavas thinking that by doing this service to these Vaishnavas, the good quality that these Vaishnavas are possessing, that will actually come to me. Mahat sevaya dwara mahur vimukte. By doing this service, all good qualities of other devotees possesses, that will actually, a drop of it, a bindu of it, will actually come to me. That is how we can actually progress in Krishna consciousness. That's greatest service, Bhagavatam says. Go, if you are lacking in chanting properly, go serve a devotee who is chanting nicely. If you are lacking in the taste of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, go serve a devotee who has so much of interest in reading Srimad Bhagavatam. If you are lacking in attachment to Srila Prabhupada, go serve a devotee who has so much of attachment to Srila Prabhupada. That is how we can actually advance in Krishna consciousness. That's our only hope, in fact. Our only hope is to actually go serve a devotee and beg and expect some mercy from them so that I will progress in Krishna consciousness. I am not a devotee at all. By this service, by this means, I can actually attempt to become a little of a devotee. If we are in that mood and approach and be in the association of devotees, then we have a great place to actually be in. Prabhupada created this society for this purpose only. He has created this international society for being Krishna conscious. So we don't have to bring material world inside Krishna consciousness. If we bring that mentality, then the whole movement gets spoiled. We spoil the whole movement that Prabhupada has actually created by bringing in material mentality. Of course, we cannot bring material mentality. Like what we are actually doing is we are bringing down Krishna consciousness inside material world. Krishna consciousness is on the highest platform. But what we are doing, we are bringing down Krishna consciousness into material platform. And we are dealing Krishna consciousness also in material platform instead of we rising to the Krishna conscious platform. Right? So we need to rise our consciousness here. We need to rise our consciousness by elevating ourselves to the platform of Krishna consciousness. That's what Krishna made Arjuna to become. He made Arjuna to actually rise to Krishna conscious platform. He didn't want Arjuna to see with material vision. He wanted Arjuna to see with the vision as everybody is actually a spirit soul here. Everybody is a spirit soul and everybody is suffering in this material world because of not being connected to Krishna. That's why they are all suffering here. So let me take up this Krishna consciousness, let me help myself and let me also help others so that they also take to Krishna consciousness, they also get saved. With that mentality, we are actually coming here and working together. We are working so that the whole world becomes transformed into a Krishna conscious society. We want others to take up Krishna consciousness not because I should get a good count. I should become a leader. So many people should be under me. So many books I have distributed. No. Not to become famous in the society we are preaching here. We are preaching here to be actually as a humble servant of Srila Prabhupada so that others take up Krishna consciousness and others also become a servant of Krishna. If somebody becomes a servant of Krishna and they do service to Krishna, then we should actually be very happy. Not that we boost up ourselves thinking that I brought him to Krishna consciousness. I am great. I made so many devotees and I am great. If we think like that, that's actually a big problem in us. Right? We are all doing service here. Somebody is doing service as a Bhakti Vriksha leader. Somebody is doing service as a sector servant. Somebody is doing service as a circle servant. Somebody is doing service as a brahmachari, as a temple president, as a center head, whatever they are. We are all doing service here. That's the first thing we need to understand. Just because we are doing some of this high class service, it doesn't make us great. If we think we are great, then we are actually in Patala. We are not in Krishna conscious platform. We should actually think saying that as we grow in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna and devotees have trusted me and they have given this service. Let me do this service nicely. They have trusted me and given this service hoping that I will do nice service for this movement, for Srila Prabhupada. And they have given this service. Let me do this service to the best of my capacity so that Srila Prabhupada actually becomes pleased. So that devotees becomes pleased with my service and still remain a servant. Expect more and more service. We are chanting because we are asking for more service from Lord. Every day when we are chanting, we are asking more and more service from Krishna. And if we are rebellious to accept service, then it's a big problem in our consciousness. Of course, when we have loaded with so much of service and you are unable to do service, if you are interested with more service, you are unable to do that service, then you can actually request the authority saying that, Prabhu, I am not finding time to do this service. Mataji, I am not finding time to do service. Can you actually delegate this service to somebody else so that they can actually do service nicely than me? Right? I cannot do this service nicely because I am already kind of to my capacity I am trying to do it. If you load me more, I may not be able to do this service nicely. Let somebody do this service so that the service actually is done nicely. I may go and spoil this service if I take it up. So better actually give it to somebody else. Then management authority should actually, they are there only to manage. So that those who are not engaged in service, they actually get the opportunity to serve. They distribute their service. And others should actually be waiting for service. Give me service, give me service, give me service. Because that's why we are chanting. We are chanting and saying, Krishna saying, give me service, give me service, give me service, give me service. That's why we are chanting every day. And when we come in association of devotee, I don't want service, I don't want service, I don't want service, I don't want service. There's high conflict of mood there. Conflict of consciousness, conflict of interest here. That's where all problem actually comes. When everybody get into the mood of service, saying that I want to serve more and more and more and more. Know that Srimati Radharani, who is serving Krishna, she is never ever satiated with serving Krishna. She wants to do more and more and more and more and more. She is never satiated with doing service to Krishna. And we should also imbibe the same mood of wanting to do more and more and more and more and more and more service. Never become satisfied thinking that, oh, okay, I am chanting 16 rounds of japa, I am chanting, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, half an hour, 1 hour, already done. I am doing this seva, done. If we think like that, it's a big problem in us. Externally, we may not be able to do service more and more and more and more. But internally, there should be a fire in the belly to do more and more and more and more and more. Because that laulyam, that greediness to do service for Krishna more and more and more and more, that is what will actually is the entry for going back to Godhead. Rupa Goswami says that. We should never become satiated, satisfied with what we are doing. We should only think about how can I do more? How can I do more? How can I serve more? If we are in that attitude, that's good. If we are not in that attitude, we need to change a lot. We need to change a lot, not others. If we are thinking that management should change a lot, Venudari Krishna Prabhu should make this change, Bandhumadhava Prabhu needs to do this change, or this management, this leader is to do this change, and the problem is with us, not with them. Honestly to say, problem is with us. A leader should always be ready to embrace change. A servant should always be ready to embrace change. We are here to only accept changes. Not, if things are going all in the same way, that's a problem. Which means we are not growing. When we grow, there will be more and more and more and more and more problems. More and more devotees come, more and more problems will be. Right? And more problems are there, more changes we need to accept. That's how Krishna consciousness is. And this is an international society where everybody here are welcome to actually accept change, embrace change. The more we change, the better it is. The whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is there to bring about change in our heart. Right? So in the last sentence of this verse, Prabhupada actually writes a wonderful says, I'll just read this. Sorry. A man becomes too greedy for wealth and power when he has no higher objective in life, and when he thinks that this earthly life of few years is all in all. Prabhupada says. First thing Prabhupada says, he has no higher objective of life. That is the most important thing. Having a higher objective of life for pleasing Krishna, for pleasing Guru and Krishna, that is the highest objective of life. If we keep that as an objective, then smaller problems will come and it will go off easily. Right? Then Prabhupada says, ignorance is the cause of all these anomalies in human society. Ignorance is the cause of all anomalies, Prabhupada says. And to remove this ignorance, especially in this age of degradation, the powerful sun is there to distribute light in the shape of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we devotees of the Lord, we need to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam as our only hope. Take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. This whole movement is Harinama Sankirtana movement. We chant Hare Krishna, we discuss about Krishna. When we are hungry, we eat prasadam and we maintain our health nicely. That's what the whole purpose is. Take care of our health nicely, eat nice prasadam, then rest of all the time chant Hare Krishna and be Krishna conscious. Hear Srimad Bhagavatam. If we keep hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then all the change that is necessary in us will be brought about by the hearing of Krishna Katha and hearing of the holy name of the Lord. That is what is actually doing the magic in us, not us. The credit for we changing actually goes to Harinama and Harikatha. Those two are the one which is changing us. Not because of my effort. We should never think that I am great. I have actually become like a great devotee like this, like that. No. Harinama has brought the change in me. I am a wretched person. Harinama has changed even me. I have been changed by Harinama. So even others also have great hope. Let them also take. Go request them. Please take to Harinama. Please take this Bhagavad Gita. Please take this Srimad Bhagavatam. Your life will also change. I have changed. My life is the example here. I was such a rascal. Now some change has brought in my life. Right? See, there is a great hope here. Even for the hopeless person, there is hope here. In outside world, there is no hope for even hopeless person. People with full of hope also has no hope there. But here even a hopeless person has hope here. That's the precious jewel that we have got in this life. Prabhupada has actually given us. So we should treasure it in our heart. We should actually, with so much of gratitude, we should actually honor all the devotees. When we see devotees, we should be blossoming in our heart. Oh, I could meet this devotee, Hare Krishna Prabhu! We should go hug them. So much of joy, like we should actually go hug the devotee, greet them. That's how Ambarish Maharaj was touching all the other devotees. He was serving all the devotees. Like that whole Vaikuntha atmosphere actually comes when we actually carry Krishna in our heart. We carry that mood in our heart. We go and actually we go and honor, embrace devotees, serve devotees. There should be fight in serving in this movement. In this whole society, there should be fight. I want to serve. 10 devotees will actually take the bucket for serving prasadam. Then the manager will go, Prabhu, he couldn't serve this, then please allow him to serve. That is what real management is all about. Not finding who will do this service today. That is not real management. That management means like the society is not carrying right mood. More than sitting for prasadam, everybody should actually be ready to serve prasadam. That should be the right mood actually. Yes or no? Right? Everybody should be willing to serve prasadam than sitting prasadam. Then the manager should go, Prabhu, please go and take prasadam, Prabhu. You should request others to honor prasadam. That is actually a great mood in Krishna consciousness. Right? Hopefully we will all get to that mood one day by serving Krishna, by serving Srila Prabhupada, by serving all Vaishnavas. We all get to that mood. One day this whole Krishna conscious society should transform into a big Vaikuntha place where everybody gets into the mood of serving than being served. Right? Hopefully we'll pray to Krishna, we'll pray to Srila Prabhupada saying that change will come about in our heart, that I will also become a good devotee. I will also get an opportunity to serve all devotees to the best of my capacity and become a great servant in this movement, great servant of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Okay, any comments, any questions? I'm already late. Yes, Prabhu.
We are all working with devotees. Even the society is designed where people are family. We are all working with people. The whole intention is to get prepared to go and work with people there. Krishna is creating the environment where you learn to adjust with people. If the problem is big enough, we will be fortunate that spiritual master or some senior devotee immediately corrects and chastises and the problem will be solved. But in day-to-day dealings with devotees and all, maybe there is equals or maybe there is some hierarchy also, but it becomes difficult to decide as to what becomes really favorable for Bhakti when there is a difference of opinion on services and so it becomes on day-to-day matters it really becomes difficult and that is where these practical problems happen. Under those circumstances, always of course respect for devotees is there, but for coming up to come up with a practical solution and all, the decision making.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's a very practical question where, especially when it comes to service, we need to do what is really best that needs to be done for Guru and Krishna, obviously. And many devotees think, obviously we are all using our senses, our mind, our intelligence in the service of the Lord. So many devotees think that doing it this way is actually will please Guru and Krishna. Other devotee may think that doing it this way may please Guru and Krishna. So there could be some conflict. When they both come and meet, there will be conflict, obviously. But we need to see what interests Krishna there more. If we should actually approach with an open mind in that situation and analyze what that devotee is presenting and what I am trying to present. If what other devotee is presenting, if that is actually more pleasing to Krishna, we should take a back step and let that devotee do that service nicely. We should never actually have a grudge in the heart thinking that I lost to that devotee. No, even if that devotee may be a junior devotee, if he brings in nice thought for the service of the Lord, we should actually encourage that and put him in the front. Let him actually do that service. If our proposition is actually seems to be better to us, then we can actually present our situation saying that if we do it like this and this, it could be more helpful for the society, it could be more helpful for the devotees. In a Vaishnava way, we can actually come, discuss and then decide. Not in a mood of thinking that my idea should be taken and my idea is the best way. No. We should come with a mood of accepting which is best for Guru and Krishna. Then we will do that. Even in that, there may be two things that may come up. Both may be better in a different way. Then we can actually go to the higher authority and think with the given time, with the given constraints, we can actually take up only one of these two, which you think is actually better. And based on whatever the authority says, we should blindly actually go forward then. Because the authority has actually said that. The authority told, then we actually follow it. Right? That's what happens even in the military also. The commander, whatever the commander say, the other person should actually blindly execute it. If he puts in his own masala there, then it's a problem. Right? So either it can be resolved within the devotee itself, knowing which service actually will please Guru and Krishna better. Accept that, embrace that. If necessary, you step down, allow the other devotee actually lead the path. If both of them don't come to any common conclusion, then better actually approach the immediate authority, try to resolve from them. That's the general way, general etiquette of doing things. Of course, on case-to-case basis, things actually differ, then we have to take it on case-to-case basis. This is a general principle which we can talk about. case to case basis, it will differ. Right? Sometimes you may even differ with your own authority. That also happens. Your immediate authority may actually suggest this. You will differ from that also. Then you need to actually take it up with the next level of authority. You need to take it up with the next level of authority. And finally, we actually go up to the level of GBC or the spiritual master. Then whatever they say, do that. That's all. We don't have any more questions on that. Okay? Right, okay. Okay, anything else before we conclude? Yes. I didn't get it. Keep expectations. You can expect, but if yeah, okay, right, yeah. Yes, okay, I got your question. I think you put too much of question. Let me try to answer one thing. Having expectations on others is not wrong, right? We can have expectation on others, but we should also know saying that everybody is working under some constraint. Everybody have some they may be good in something and they may not be good in something. They may be learning something and they may have difficulty to learn something. We should know saying that everybody is having constraints here. Even my own leader has constraints. He works under constraints. He has his own capacity to deal things. He may have limitations. I may not see, I'm not a good kirtanier. I may not be able to sing nicely. I may not be able to deliver a good class, but I may be a good servant. Right? So I may do some services nicely. Some service I may be able to do nicely. Some service I may not be able to do nicely. So we cannot expect be unrealistic in our expectations. That we need to check it. What we can expect, if that devotee can actually give us, then we can have that expectation. And there also the devotee may have some difficulty to deliver it at that particular situation, that particular time, that particular circumstances. Though he may be able to give that, he may have, because of some situation, he may not be able to give that also. We can have expectations and we can go and ask, we can go and request that, but whatever comes in return, we should actually be ready to accept that as Krishna's mercy. This is what I deserve. This is what Krishna thinks that is good for me, and accept and go forward. But we can still go and keep asking for more and more and more and more. But if we keep getting this much only, this much only, this much only, then we should know saying that I should be satisfied with what Krishna is giving to me. If we are not getting satisfied, then the problem is with us, not with other devotee. That's the first thing. When we have problems with other devotees, with peers, we have nobody else other than going and talking to our immediate leaders. Our immediate leaders are like our either big brother or big sister who is there to actually help us. They are there to actually help us, serve us. So we should not have any hesitation to go and freely talk to them. If your leader is not matured enough, then it's actually a problem. But generally the leaders should be matured enough to actually accommodate, have good oral reception of whatever is being our younger junior people are actually expecting. Give a oral reception, have a fine hearing to that. Then understand what they are expecting. And then they will also, with some constraints, they may also suggest some things like do like this, this may actually help you. With some constraints, because they know they cannot actually bring the sky down and give it to us today. They also are working with constraints, with limitations. And with that limitation, they may actually go and suggest some things. If that suggestion works, we can actually accept that suggestion. If that suggestion doesn't work, you can go and talk to the immediate next authority. Right? So we have no other hope other than going and approaching our senior devotees who may not be matured enough. They are also practicing devotees. They are also fighting to actually advance in Krishna consciousness. Know that everybody is fighting here. Everybody is having constraints. Everybody is actually struggling. Right? In this room, nobody is a perfect devotee, so to say. Everybody is struggling here. Everybody is struggling to chant 16 rounds of japa properly. Yes or no? Yes. Is there anybody who is not struggling here? It is good if you are struggling. If you are not struggling, it's a problem, actually. So know that I am working with constraints. There are limitations. There are constraints here in the society. So if I expect too much, then it's a problem. We should have limited expectation and then keep pushing forward one step at a time. It may not happen one day, one shot. We also need to contribute in it, and others should also contribute in it. Then the change will actually slowly manifest. It will not come in one day for sure. Right? Things will happen. Things everybody wants something wonderful to be offered to Srila Prabhupada, but it may not happen today. But slowly we all together contribute a little, and then we slowly march towards it. It never happens in one day. It takes for the whole society to actually march forward and bring about some big change in the whole society. It takes small baby steps for sure. So take small steps at a time and then march forward. Then slowly things may happen. It may not even happen in our lifetime, that change. It may take even several lifetimes also, never know. But if we take small step towards it, then it may happen. So we can be a cause for taking that one small step. We can request the authorities also to bring about one small step. Practically within our limitations, we can see if can we do this step at least for now. Within this next 1 month, within this next 3 months, within this next 1 year, can we bring about this change here? Next Janmashtami, can we do this like this? So small baby steps we can actually take to make a big change. Right? So having expectation is not wrong. Going and talk to authority about problems is not a Vaishnava aparadha. We should go and discuss that. There are proper etiquettes to talk also. Not saying that this devotee is wrong, not that devotee is wrong, this is all wrong, you all are actually offensive. No, we should not talk like that. We should actually go and talk saying that I have seen these things happening in the society. Can we bring about some change in this? What do you think can be brought about? Then first of all, find out what they are thinking about it. Then you can think, Prabhu, I have a thought, can I actually present it? Then you go and present your thought there. Then find out how the response is for that. So there is a proper way of dealing things. It is not that we cannot go and talk about problems at all in the society. Good we bring about talk about problems, because there is some solution we can bring about it, some change we can bring about it here. We should discuss problems with senior devotees. If we don't discuss, it's a problem. If we keep it in our heart, it will actually burn us for sure. We should go and discuss that. But in a proper way, proper mood, properly we should present it. If we don't know how to present it properly, we should learn from other devotees who are good in presenting that. So some may be good in doing it, some may be not good so in doing it. If you come across devotees who are not good so in presenting things, we should learn how not to present from them. Right? So there is always a lesson to learn and always to actually rectify ourselves, correct ourselves, caliber ourselves, tune ourselves for our own better Krishna consciousness, for the betterment of the society. So always there is a change we need to tune, we need to bring about a change in the society, bring about a change in us. The change is always there. Right? So happily go and discuss, Mataji. Never think saying that this will become Vaishnava aparadha. That's actually a big mistake many devotees have. They don't even talk thinking that it will become Vaishnava aparadha. Do Vaishnava aparadha and correct yourself. That is actually better than not talking, not associating. Many devotees think, let me not associate with devotees because I will commit Vaishnava aparadha. That's the terrible thing that they are actually doing. Go associate, do mistakes, learn from mistakes, correct yourself. That is actually much better. Right? Commit Vaishnava Aparadha and then learn from it. Then next time don't do it. That's actually a better way. All right? I hope I could speak something about it. You had something else, Matri? Yeah, it's like yeah, raising complaint is all good, but we should also see like how I can contribute here to bring about a change. More than expectation from others to actually bring about a change, we should also think how can I contribute in bringing about a change. If we think saying that something is not happening properly, can I go and do this so that some change is brought about there? If we think if we can contribute something in this, we should go and do it. Looking at us, many people may put hands into it. That's the better way to actually handle things. If we are not getting right responses from our immediate leadership, then do what you need to do to bring about a change, then others will put hands slowly looking at you. So that's how change can be brought in. Change cannot be brought in by asking others to do it. Change has to be brought in by we actually doing something for it. So try doing something, then it's a struggle, definitely. It will not happen in one day. Even if you go do it one day, others may not support you. You have to go do it 100 times, you may go do it and one person may put hands for you. That's how even Prabhupada did it. When Prabhupada started this whole movement, he had to go even do everything for the Sunday feast. He only did everything. He only goes and cooks the whole prasadam. He only leads the kirtan. He only does gives the class. He will only go serve the prasadam. When everybody goes off, then he will only clean all the vessels. That's what Prabhupada was doing initially. So he set that example, Mataji. So we should take the same example. That we should, if we want to bring about a change, we should actually contribute for the change first. Then others will actually start contributing, may contribute looking at us. They may not contribute at all, but that doesn't mean we should get discouraged and not do it. We should keep doing it for the sake of Srila Prabhupada, for the sake of Acharyas. We should keep doing what is right. And others may change and may also contribute for good cause with you. Right? Okay, so Prabhu, I will take this as the last one here.
Thank you so much for explaining about Krishna consciousness is about bringing the change. It's a good thing. And you also explained about how the devotee mood should be always like you are a servant of someone. That's how the mood. It's a good point. My question is, Prabhu, generally we wanted to encourage devotees whatever their services doing. So we are always go and present their photos, appraise them, and how far it is good for this Krishna conscious mode. What extent will we leverage our social media? Generally, we call it Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or the demons of Kaliuga. These are the obstacles for the Krishna conscious. But how we need to cultivate the neophyte devotees? Is it something good to appraise them, or it is something limited, or how we need to take it? And we do our services from the day. If we talk about Sunday, small flower to end cleaning of vessels, we do hundreds of services. But how is it good to appraise them, or it's something we need to cultivate in a different right way? What is the right mood?
Yeah, one thing is nothing is bad in the service of the Lord. Everything can be used in the service of the Lord. So we need to use everything. Social media also, we can use it in the service of the Lord. Because so many people are using social media to publicize their businesses. Why not we use social media to publicize Krishna consciousness? What is wrong about it? So there is nothing wrong using social media to publicize Krishna consciousness, publicize this ISKCON movement, publicize glories of Srila Prabhupada, publicize this whole society. There is nothing wrong in publicizing it. So we should actually, in fact, all these things are there to propagate Krishna consciousness. We should use everything in this whole world to propagate Krishna consciousness. Right? So there is nothing wrong using social media, nothing wrong taking a photo and putting it in the social media. All this is all good. Right? If anything needs to be changed, it is only us. Right? We should not think saying that, oh, they didn't put my photo in the social media. I did all this service, that my photo did not come. Why my photo is like this captured? The cameraman is not good at all. Right? That is the only change that needs to be brought about. And we are publicizing not to glorify our own self. We are publicizing to glorify Prabhupada. We are publicizing to glorify Krishna. We are publicizing saying that such and such event is happening here, Harinam Sankirtan is happening here, Bhagavatam class is happening here, please come, you also come and participate. For that reason we are publicizing it. We are publicizing it so that more people can actually come take to this Krishna consciousness movement, more people get benefited from this. That's the only reason why we are publicizing it. And we should do for this publicizing, because looking at that Facebook message, looking at that WhatsApp message, maybe one interested soul may walk in and may take up Krishna consciousness. Even if one person walks in by that, that activity should be done. Why not? Why stop it? Why not use anything for Krishna service? Everything is meant for Krishna service. Right? That's what Yukta Vairagya's whole definition is all about. Anasaktasya Vishayan. Not to be attached to anything. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. Knowing that everything has a sambandha with Krishna. Everything has a relationship with Krishna. Everything is Krishna's property and everything needs to be used in Krishna's service. Prabhupada was ready to use the whole world in Krishna's service. Why not neglect? Why should we neglect Facebook and WhatsApp and Twitter and Instagram and all? But if we are not matured enough to actually handle these tools properly, better to actually stay away from it. Because if we are not matured enough, we might get carried away in Maya. We might lose a lot of time. If we are matured in handling things, then we can actually use it. Only to the extent of using it for service of the Lord, we should actually use it. Not for our own happiness, enjoyment. If we can do it with regulation, with restriction, with time limit, etc., and use it for properly for the service of the Lord, why not use all of them in service of the Lord? Why should we neglect saying that this is Maya? Nothing needs to be neglected. It depends on how we use it in our service, in the service of the Lord. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, knife in the hand of a thief and knife in the hand of a doctor. In the same way, there is nothing wrong with knife. Why should we blame knife? Why should we blame Facebook or Instagram or YouTube? Right? They are there. We can use it. If you are not capable to use it properly, better stay away from it. If you can use it properly, then use it for the service of the Lord. Simple thing. Okay? Let's stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande.